When watching the Star Wars original trilogy, you get the impression that Darth Vader is a loyal servant to his master. In A New Hope, you only hear mention of the Emperor in passing. If you were like I was, when I was a child seeing it for the first time, you thought Grand Moff Tarkin was Darth Vader's master. Vader, release him, Tarkin says, as you wish. Then, Leia tells Tarkin, Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. It wasn't for another generation or more that we discovered Tarkin was just sent to keep an eye on Vader, with Sidious being Darth Vader's true master. Since then, what did Darth Vader learn from the Emperor? Today, on Star Wars Fanatic. For the longest time, even after the Star Wars original trilogy finished, we didn't know exactly what Grand Moff Tarkin's relationship was to Darth Vader. Sure, we knew that the Emperor was his master, as we learned more in The Empire Strikes Back and even more later in Return of the Jedi. But it wasn't until the expanded universe started really writing on it that we learned that Vader and Tarkin were just very respectful of each other, and Vader was sent to keep an eye on Vader. But what of Vader's relationship with Darth Sidious? When The Empire Strikes Back is released, we soon see Lord Vader kneeling in front of a large hologram image of his true master, Emperor Palpatine, or Darth Sidious if you prefer. Kneeling, a sign of obedience, servitude, and respect, a submissive pose for someone humbled before those they serve. Also, more graceful than bowing or groveling, and less embarrassing. If we go off what we see and hear, you can ascertain a lot about their relationship. From the first time you see Sidious, Vader is kneeling before him. The conversation is about the boy in the Rebel Alliance who blew up the Death Star, Luke Skywalker. The Emperor calls him the son of Skywalker, and says he must not be allowed to become a Jedi. He poses a problem for the Empire and is a threat to them as Sith. Palpatine wants him killed. At least that's what we're led to believe. Darth Vader offers another solution. If he could be turned, he could become a powerful ally. The Emperor agrees, and everyone goes about their business. Back up. Read it again or watch that scene over and over if you must. Vader changed his master's mind. Vader controlled Darth Sidious for a brief second. We have recently seen a lot of material coming out about Darth Vader and how he had been plotting against his master, almost from the very beginning, if we include him telling Padme that he could defeat Palpatine and they could rule the galaxy together. It's the same as what he told Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. In the newer Vader comics, he shows that he doesn't trust Sidious and fears for his life from him. He also builds an army in hopes of defeating his Sith master. The plans don't work out as hoped, but it is always in the back of his mind. The entire time he spends under Sidious, he sees how the Emperor manipulates every situation to his benefit, and what kind of apprentice would Darth Vader be if he wasn't learning from his master? He was watching and learning the master's way. After all, Darth Vader is obsessed with power, just as his Jedi persona began to show at an early age. As he finishes kneeling before Sidious in The Empire Strikes Back, he tells Sidious that Luke Skywalker will join them or die. This is after the Emperor had his vision that Luke could destroy the Sith. So, Darth Vader knows Luke's destiny and sees this as his chance to recruit him in defeating the Emperor. Let's move on to Return of the Jedi. Vader kneels again as the Emperor disembarks his shuttle on the second Death Star. Surrounded by his guards and a plethora of troops of all types, Vader tells the Emperor the Death Star will be operational on schedule. Then the Emperor says, I sense you would like to continue your search for young Skywalker. Vader responds, Yes, my master. The Emperor tells him to be patient and that Skywalker will seek him out. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky. The Emperor tells Vader that once Skywalker turns himself into Vader, that he must bring Luke before the Emperor. Only together can they turn him to the dark side of the Force. That scene is reaffirming that Luke is more powerful than they suspect and that he could defeat Sidious. Darth Vader needed Luke, and he needed to openly use him with his master's blessing. But The Emperor was set on killing Luke in the beginning. How did it switch to turning him? Did they really need another Sith? They already had control of the galaxy, and Luke was the last of the Jedi that we knew of at the time. And it isn't because they needed him to end the rebellion. In Palpatine's eyes, it was a sure deal that the rebels were all going to perish at the second Death Star. Sure, Palpatine, Sidious, the Emperor, whatever you want to call him, showed he wanted to have Luke kill Darth Vader and take his place, but that didn't show until later. So it went from, okay, you change him or kill him, to, okay, we will both work on him. What happened? Well, the seed that Vader planted back in The Empire Strikes Back grew. Did Vader use a mind trick on his master, which may have developed into another plan of the Emperor's to replace Vader? The Emperor was supposed to be the one to teach Vader to help those he loved by cheating death. The Emperor kept Vader in constant pain and would even bring up Anakin's deceased wife from time to time to help fuel his anger. Vader, and by this point his alter ego Anakin, knew this. He was biding his time until the moment was right to strike and remove Palpatine. But he knew he wasn't physically powerful enough. However, he was learning Sidious manipulation techniques and used them against Sidious. That moment came after his final duel with Luke. He saw his son being electrocuted by his master. He felt the lost control. His powers were dwindling from the duel with Luke, and his life support was beginning to fail. It was time to act, or he and his son would soon perish. So he threw the Emperor down a shaft and seemingly killed him, for the time being. He saved his son, but he sacrificed himself in doing so. In the end, he hated Palpatine, the Emperor, Darth Sidious, but all Sith hated their masters and turned on them eventually. What made this notable? Darth Vader redeemed himself and learned from Palpatine how to save the ones he loved by defending them and sacrificing himself. He also learned how to manipulate his own master by wanting to keep Luke alive. In the end, Darth Sidious did just that. By teaching Darth Vader his art of manipulation, even if accidentally, he taught Anakin Skywalker how to save the ones he loved from death. And it wasn't accomplished through ancient sorcery nor the dark side of the Force. It was through standing up for the ones he loved and protecting them. He saved his son through love. So, what do you think? I know when the original trilogy was written, most of these ideas were non-existent. But if we only had the original trilogy and nothing else, it would appear that Vader learned to manipulate Emperor Palpatine, even if for just a moment. I know this is my own headcanon, and I'm sure you all have your own thoughts on this idea as well. So I'd love to hear them. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And yes, I have broken away from the Mandalorian stuff, Jango Fett, and Boba Fett stuff for a moment, but I promise a return to it soon. If you're new to the channel or haven't taken the creed, go on and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date on all my Star Wars thoughts, theories, and general discussions. Go on and hit the like button as well to show your love for the hard work I put into each video and share the video with some friends. Don't forget to join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US for a live stream, and May the 4th for my spoiler-heavy review of the first episode of The Bad Batch. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, the only way.